Good morning. It is Saturday, not too early, but I am on the road heading to St. Louis, Missouri to go pick up a load of books. Kind of exciting that we're starting to piece things together for the hotel. We've been working on design for so long, but it's nice to actually get something physically in your hand to hold that you're going to be putting into the project and be able to get ideas for the actual physical look of it. You can kind of conceptualize and look at pictures and renderings and all your floor plans and everything, but ultimately when you start seeing things that are going to be in the space and what it's going to feel like, that's really, really exciting. So a long drive ahead of me. We will see you in St. Louis. Well, this has been a long day of driving, and as you can see, it is raining. We have lightning, thunder, and so I'm just waiting for the book guy to show up, and we're gonna start loading books up. But hopefully we can do so quickly, that way we don't get anything wet. So thankfully I brought a big umbrella and my dolly, so we should be able to load this up pretty quick, but stay tuned. That's a lot of books. So it's the next day, and I apologize because there was a torrential downpour. So you can see that I'd set the tripod up as we were loading the boxes in the trailer. I did have a wonderful conversation with John, the book dealer. You also probably saw Jesse and James, who are some friends of mine that are participants in the hotel with us. And some of this collection came from them, that they had the previous connection with John. And just the world of books is just something that's so kind of wild. I do think that we are accomplishing something that is very unique with the Bookend, in that our library is going to be a wildly authentic vintage library. We're going to have beautifully bound period books that are in line with what could have been in that library originally. A lot of what we're going to be infilling is going to be more modern or classical reads. I have to go through box by box and figure out what we actually have, because there is an assortment. I think that some of those classical books are going to be there. One of the things that we talked about was how are we going to let people know that, hey, these are not to take? And something that we kind of talked about was marking the books in a way. And I think that we may do that because this collection isn't meant to be resold. We're going to say, hey, this is the collection of the Bookend Hotel. One of the things that can make a book more valuable is the fact that it has an inscription from somebody prominent, or, so in a way, maybe us marking the book makes the book more valuable in the future if the Bookend Hotel becomes, some special place. It's something that we're considering and trying to figure out. Let us know in the comments what you think. Should you mark a book? I will say, Missouri is beautiful. Yesterday was very scary, kind of driving in the heavy rain. Not the funnest when you're pulling a trailer. I am very thankful that we have beautiful weather today, making the trek back. So, next thing you'll see is I'll probably be pulling some of these books out. So, looking forward to that. So, stay tuned. Well, I'm sure that went by much faster for you guys. I am wiped out from moving all these books in. This is over 1,000 books. Originally it started out, it was supposed to be 1,000 books, and then I ended up buying some extra books. We have no idea what's in here. All these boxes had 1 star with a circle in it, but there is one box that has 3 stars, and it says fine bindings. And so we're going to open that box up. Okay, I know something that I noticed while we were loading the books was these boxes feel a lot heavier. And I asked John, I was like, why do old books weigh so much? And he's like, they were just made different. The bindings were made of real material, not like
pulp and cardboard like books are today. A lot of times the paper was thicker, depending on what it was. I don't know, that doesn't look like a fine binding to me. It looks kind of like a UFO book, so I don't know. Maybe I didn't get a very good buy. I don't think that's probably the case though. Ah, this is a book on chess. They have much more heft to them, the vintage books. Egyptian Aesthetics. This is a history book on the death of Lincoln. That's cool. I don't know, 6 months maybe? I'm not sure. This is definitely old, very worn. And so things like this are just really for looks on our shelves. We're gonna have a bunch of books that you can actually read, but some of this stuff is quite old. The task that I was kind of put with was, how do we find a collection of books that looks like it's an old library? What would kind of look beautiful on the shelf, give you some curiosity, maybe pull a book off the shelf, and maybe it's one that you would want to read, or just, you know, this is interesting. This is like a history of the Canary Islands. Oh, this is funny. Abe Lincoln's jokes. Yeah, some of this in here is definitely not what I would call fine binding, but will look interesting and neat. I especially love, so we have a few like coffee table type books that are down here below, and some of this is like not even in English, so it'll just definitely be for show, unless you're French or something and you're able to read that. Oh, this at the bottom looks kind of cool. This looks like it's probably German, but it'll look cool on the shelf. This is a little pamphlet on Abraham Lincoln. Not sure how old that is. And then I like a lot of this kind of stuff. So this is Philadelphia Museum of Art. Old paintings, old art. Okay, that's one box. Definitely not fine bindings, all of it. At least there's a few. We've got, I don't know, 60 boxes here that I'm gonna have to go through. If you're interested in seeing more of these, give a like, give us a subscribe. Please subscribe. We are very excited that we're getting to a point where, you know, we're getting to share some of our, you know, bits and pieces of the end vision while we go through construction. And so probably next video is me back to construction, but I will start to do some of these book box openings, and maybe I'll do a box of bookends with a box of books, and maybe we'll stage them on one of these shelves behind me. So like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.